Premier League football is back this weekend, Friday, the 15th of August, 2025. Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Yeah, I am as excited as every other football fan. Waited for 3 months and extra to get to this point. Uh, I've got loads of things to talk about today, and I'll just jump straight into the top five finish at the end of the season. I wouldn't do the full Premier League table. I would rather go with the top five finish and the last three, I mean the relegation at the end of the season. So I'll begin with the top five. Um, for some reason, I'll give fifth place to Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal will end in fifth place at the end of the season, and it's not because they are not exceptional or they didn't do or they wouldn't be great at the on the course of this season, but it's because there's a stiff competition after every team looked to have strengthened over the course of this transfer window. So I think Arsenal will be gaining fifth place. Yeah, we've seen them finish second twice in a row, but this time I think fifth place will be best suited for them. That's just my prediction, not 100% on it, but yeah, Arsenal fifth place. Fourth place, I think United will end in fourth place because they have fewer games to play. I mean, they're not in Europe this year. They wouldn't be competing in anything more than the Premier League and the domestic cups. I mean, the FA Cup and the EFL Cup. So I give fourth place to United, and this is because of the strengthening they've done in attack, which was the major problem they had last season with the number of goals scored at the end of the season as compared to the number of goals conceded, and that has always been a problem with United over the past 3-4 seasons. So fourth place United. In number three, I'll go with Liverpool. Yeah, I know that's not the one anyone will be looking forward to hearing from me. No one is expecting to hear Liverpool in third place, but I'll say Liverpool in third place because they have a striker who is new to the Premier League, and Salah, who is the main player in the team from last season, end of last season, had a dip in his form. So he might take time to find his feet in this new season. Yeah, he won't be quite brilliant as we've seen over the past 3, 4, 5 seasons from him. And if you play FPL, you know what I'm talking about. Mo Salah is the first on the list when it comes to midfielders, and he produces well when it comes to attack. But this season, I think with the age factor and with how he ended last season, I think Salah will not be quite there. Yeah, they strengthened also in attack, just like United did, but you know, Wades coming from Bundesliga, he would also need time to adapt, and Ekitike also from Bundesliga. The reason they'll be finishing third, because I mean, I would have placed them in fourth place or fifth, but in a competition that is as stiff as the Premier League, and with everyone looking to have a piece of their own cake after Liverpool just clinched one last season, I think they might fight hard, aiming for the title, but only find themselves in third place. And it's not even a bad one. I mean, considering they will be also competing in Europe, and they will be going toe to toe with the other big boys. Second place, which is one team every other person wouldn't write or seem to have written off because of their performance from last season. I'll say Manchester City. Manchester City, second place, because I think for some reason how they have performed or how they performed last season, everyone thinks they might even be struggling to get into the top four. But I'll give it second to them because I mean they have new additions to who don't seem to know the league very well, but because of the tactical brilliance of the manager Pep Guardiola and how well he has taking the lead in the past seasons, I would say this will be his second place, best finish for the team. I mean, Haaland also will look sharper than last season, which is one factor to consider. He was not his best last season, but I think this season will be a wake-up call for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City and Erling Haaland. So with his goal contributions and with the addition of Ryan Cherki, who I know is coming from a different league, but um, yeah, Guardiola is very good with pushing his team, and we saw how City were able to come back a bit better towards the end of last season. So second place finish for City is an ideal one, I think. Um, with not much difference from who is going to finish in first place, and by now I think everyone will guess right. Chelsea. Chelsea will be number one, and I'll say this because winning the Club World Cup is not a fluke. Chelsea finishing first is ideal for them because they have the players. One would wonder why they went into the market from last season onto this one, buying those loads of players. That is because they are going to have options in every area of the field. For every position, there is always an option for Chelsea, and they really strengthened well in attack. Chelsea is not that much team to worry about when it comes to defense because um, they do very well. It's just a Chelsea team defending. It's a Chelsea team, and they are very good with being classed as the underdog and coming out on top. Everyone would think this is another Liverpool slash Arsenal season, but I think Chelsea will clinch this one. Cole Palmer, who was not really at his best last season, with what he performed in the final of the FIFA Club World Cup, I think Cole Palmer will just turn up as the Cole Palmer we all knew the season before, and that would be very, very important to Chelsea's title charge this season. Also, João Pedro, who has Premier League experience, I think he will be the starting striker. On the other side, Pedro Neto also looks sharp. In midfield, they've got Enzo and Caicedo. I mean, those two are really just unstoppable in midfield. So they have what it takes to battle with the big boys and with every other team in the Premier League in that midfield role. Yeah, I'll give it to Chelsea, and I think first position Chelsea, second position City, Liverpool number 3, United 4th, and Arsenal 5th will be my prediction for top 5. And on to the relegation battle. For some reason, I know everyone believes that Everton have always escaped relegation or have never been relegated, but I think this might just be the season where Everton gets relegated. Yeah, so I think Everton 20th because I don't really see much they've done in the transfer market, and there are really no players considered threat in that team. I mean, they lost Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's just moved to Leeds United, and in midfield and in defense, they have not the best in those positions. So I think Everton 20th. 19th place, I will give that to Leeds United. I'll say Leeds United because yeah, they might have done well in the transfer market. Like I just mentioned, they signed Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but that's not just all it takes. And with the other players they've got, Willie Noto and other known names in the team, I think that's just not enough to battle in this Premier League season, because it feels like everyone already have mounted their spots and know just what to do. But coming from the Championship, I don't see any way they'll be displacing any other team in the top 17. And lastly, I'll give it to Burnley in 18th place. Burnley might not just be lucky enough to escape this one. I mean, they play good football, even in the Championship. It's been evident that they perform well, but this is the Premier League. This is not the Championship. So I think even with some top signings like Kai Walker, it doesn't save them from going back to the championship. And not to forget, recently they lost James Trafford to Manchester City, their goalkeeper. So these are factors also to consider. So I think Burnley will be heading back to the championship at the end of the season. Next one, we're going to the predictions. Friday, Liverpool, Bournemouth. I'll give it Liverpool 2, Bournemouth 1. And this is because I think it will be a hard one for Liverpool. I mean, they just lost the Community Shield to Crystal Palace, but they will try everything possible to win this one. And being the opener and most watched before the game on Sunday, I'm talking of the big one, as Manchester United versus Arsenal, I would say Bournemouth will give that fight, but it wouldn't just be enough to put Liverpool off. I think Liverpool will come out victorious in that one. 2-1. 2-1. Saturday, Aston Villa, Newcastle. With Newcastle not doing very well in the transfer market, and they have Anthony Elanga now, but we're not sure who's going to be their starting striker. And be Osula. I don't just think they'll be motivated enough going into that game, and they will be at Villa Park. Aston Villa should win that one very easily. I'll give it Villa 4, Newcastle 1. Yeah, Isak's pending departure is going to be another reason why the team will be unsettled. And yeah, Aston Villa 4, Newcastle 1. Brighton, Fulham. Brighton 1, Fulham 1. That will be an even game. Both teams will mark each other's strengths. So I think 1-1 will be the perfect scoreline for that game. Also, Spurs versus Burnley. Yeah, Spurs looked really good, and with the signing of Japanina and with Yves Bissouma, maybe not in the starting lineup because he's not in good terms with the coach owing to lateness to training. He might not be there, but with Palhinha and Palhinha and the other the black guy in the middle of the park, and up front they've got options like I can see the coach prefers Richarlison over Solanke, but I think that looked good when we watched them against PSG the other night in the UEFA Super Cup. And then on the wing, Mohamed Kudus from West Ham looking sharp for them. I think that should just be more than enough for them to beat Burnley 2-0. So my prediction for that game is Spurs 2, Burnley 0. And the new boys, Sunderland versus West Ham. Yeah, we all know Sunderland. They are very, very familiar with the Premier League, and if there is one team I've always known that Sunderland would upset coming to the Premier League, they are known to always upset Chelsea. But with the way they've also strengthened, I mean, they have Xhaka, they have Renildo, and they've got Masuaku and some other signings, interesting signings. I mean, Sunderland would not be bullied in that fixture. Well, I don't see them winning it though. I'll give it 2-2. So it's going to be Sunderland 2, West Ham 2. And then the last one on Saturday, Wolves versus Manchester City. Like I said, we've all written off Manchester City in the Premier League. And to be fair, you can't just write off a Pep team that way. Regardless, I'll give it to Manchester City, and it will be an easy win for Manchester City. It's going to be Wolves 0, Manchester City 4. On Sunday, Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. We know Palace are very good, and we know they would always come with the fight in every fixture, and that's a derby. That's a London derby. That's one reason why it's not going to be an easy one for Chelsea, but I'll still give it to Chelsea. Chelsea 2, Palace 1. Nottingham, Brentford. still on Sunday. I think that will be an even one, 0-0. I don't see any sharpness coming from both of them. I mean, it's a surprising one to have a Nottingham fixture versus Brentford come out 0-0, but I think that's what's going to end. Nottingham 0, Brentford 0. Brentford recently lost Brian Bumo to Manchester United. They lost Christian Norgard, their captain, to Arsenal, and they are looking to also lose Young Wissa to Newcastle. So that's not going to change anything for them in that fixture. I think they will just be, able to hold that one 0-0 there. So Manchester United versus Arsenal, the big game, which I think for sure is going to be the most watched game of this opening season 2025-2026. It's been a while, but we all know the record. Arsenal they've only had 2 wins in 18 outings to Old Trafford. Not a good record, and with the way United have strengthened in attack, and with the way United will be looking to change their fortunes from last season, I think United will come out top in that one. I'll give it to United. Manchester United 1, Arsenal 0. Yeah, I mean, it's a game where anybody could turn up with the goal, but yeah, 1-0 United. And we all know United are always going to win an opening fixture in the Premier League, unlike Arsenal. A few times you could see Arsenal drop a point or all in the opening fixture, but that's not a United team, so I'll give it to United. Manchester United 1, Arsenal 0. And the last one, Leeds United, the new boys. I think Leeds 2, Everton 0. Everton won't be the best team this season. Like I said, Leeds individual brilliance will give them this one, and the excitement and the home advantage. So I'll give it to Leeds United 2-0. That will be all for my predictions and my take on the new Premier League season. Feel free to drop your comments in the comment sections. Yeah, let's go and merry. The Premier League 2025-2026 season is back.